Hey, today I'd like to talk about single action revolvers for defense. All right, there's been some videos that I put out before. All right, with this Ruger Blackhawk 357 Magnum. What a wonderful handgun. Okay, Ruger did a great job with this. All right, single action, meaning you have to pull the hammer back each time. It is a modern single action. All right, and for those of you who don't know, the original single action revolvers of the Old West and afterwards had a firing pin mounted to the hammer. Okay, now these modern ones have a transfer bar. That's a big upgrade as far as safety is concerned, because in the Old West, a lot of these handguns could only be loaded safely with 5 rounds. And the reason is with that firing pin mounted to the hammer, the slightest little, hit on that hammer could cause a round to go off without you intending it. So with the modern revolvers like the Blackhawk, you can safely load 6 rounds. Great gun, built like a tank. I recently had a viewer comment underneath of one of my videos, and we got in a little sparring session over single action revolvers. All right, and the topic of discussion was fanning the gun. All right, and so basically, for those of you who don't know, fanning the gun is when you come out, you're firing from belt level, you're holding down the trigger, and you're working the hammer with your support hand as quickly as you can. It is a rapid fire technique for this weapon. All right, popularized, in the Old West, you see it frequently. All right, and this fella says that fanning is for fools and it damages your gun and it's wildly inaccurate. Okay, I want to address those things right now. Number one, as far as damaging your gun, I have never heard that. All right, I have never heard it being an issue of damaging your gun. Now, the viewer, you may know something that I don't know. Fair enough, you could be a gunsmith, maybe you've seen it before. All right, I challenge you to maybe post a video of your own and explain to us exactly why it's damaging the gun. And as for the claim, it's wildly inaccurate. Let me put this into context. The only time that I would myself fan a revolver that's single action, okay, or teach this, is at very close range, all right, for defensive purposes. All right, every single one of my firearms is ready to be called into action if need be. So we need to train with these things. All right, at 7 yards and in, the FBI says that's the mean average distance for a lethal encounter. So 7 yards and in, all right, whether it's a semi-automatic pistol, a revolver, okay, it doesn't matter. You may have to fire from retention, all right, from this position here. You're not going to have time in a lot of instances to raise your weapon up and use your sights. So with a single action revolver, if I have to fire from here, it's going to be the easiest way to get rounds down range quickly is by fanning the gun, all right? That's the only time that I would use it or recommend it. It's for defensive work, defensive application at 7 yards and in. If you're doing this at 15 yards or 25 yards, you're being an asshole, okay? You're obviously, not going to be as proficient as if you come up and align your sights, okay? So, with that said, I'm going to do a build drill, which is something I do with all of my defensive handguns. Favorite drill of mine at 7 yards, okay? The par time is 3 seconds from the draw. We need to get 5 shots as quickly as we can, center mass on a silhouette target. All right, so I'm going to do it at 7 yards with this gun, fanning it, and let's see how we do, okay? We'll put that claim wildly inaccurate to the test, all right? So here we go. I'm using 38 Special Plus P ammunition, so it's a good medium for this gun, all right? And let's see how we do. Build drill. Stop. All right, before we go around range and check that target, I'm going to go ahead and reload this gun. All right, good teaching opportunity. With a single action revolver for defensive purposes, I'm going to keep my head up, eyes up. I'm going to eject one casing, All right, and I'm going to load one. I'm going to eject one and then load one. All right, the reason we do this instead of ejecting all of them is that if I get bum rushed and I don't have time to load all 6, that way I've at least got 1 or 2 rounds in that gun. So load one, eject one. Okay, it'd be easier if I kept these rounds on my weak side instead of having to switch my hands, but that's the way it is today. Head up, eyes up. Last round in the gun. All right, back in action. Let's go down range and check our target. So as far as the timing, I said the part time was 3 seconds or less from 7 yards. I'm gonna have to check the video later. I don't have a timer out here. But as far as the shooting is concerned, fired 6 shots. I've got 1, 2 in the pelvic region, 1 in the upper chest, right above the heart, and 1 in the head, okay? So the grouping is spread out, but those are all in the vital areas. So that's 4 out of 6 hits on a man-sized target at 7 yards, okay? With the 38 Special Plus P, I would argue a shot here, okay, right above the eyeball, upper chest, okay? And then 2 in the pelvic region are gonna be fight stoppers, all right? So 4 out of 6 in the vitals at 7 yards. Is that wildly inaccurate? As Paul Harrell would say, you be the judge. All right, I don't think it is. At 7 yards, it's not. And honestly, if I can get those rounds on target in that manner, the fastest I can, then that's the way you got to do it. All right. Now, just as a comparison, just to be fair, now I'm going to demonstrate another technique you can use for rapid fire with this single action revolver. All right. Instead of fanning it the other way, which is a lot slower, but a lot more accurate, is I'm going to come out and I'm just going to simply thumb cock with each round. So from here, thumb cock, thumb cock, thumb cock. Let's see how fast we can do that in comparison, all right, at 7 yards. Okay, may even back up just a little bit, make it 8 or 9, all right. This is going to be a lot more accurate, so I'm just going to go for right there in the chest, okay. And let's see how quickly I can do this, all right? Because if I'm using this as a defensive tool and I have to shoot fast, it's either going to be fanning or, in this manner, the thumb cock. So, here we go. Stop.